What I'm going to talk about now is parallelism. Sometimes you'll hear this called parallel structure. Those mean the same thing. What parallelism means is writing where one or more ideas are linked with coordinating or correlative conjunctions. They're also expressed in the same grammatical form. And what that does is give us the same weight or importance in the sentence to both ideas. So let's take a look at this in some more depth. In order to fully understand parallelism, you have to remember what conjunctions are. So let's talk about two different kinds. Coordinating conjunctions, if you remember the word fanboys, you'll always remember the coordinating conjunctions. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. It spells out fanboys. Those are the coordinating conjunctions. Now, correlative conjunctions are a little bit harder to remember, but they're easy to spot because they come in two parts. Here's some examples. Both, and, either, or, neither, nor, not only, but also, and whether, or. Those are called correlative conjunctions, and you often see those in parallel structure. So let's go on to talk about times when you would want to use parallel structure. If you're writing items in a series, you should put them in parallel form. And parallel form should include your nouns, your verbs, and your prepositional phrases. This is because parallelism makes a series very graceful, easy to follow, and so much more enjoyable to read. Let's take a look at an example. In the 18th century, armed forces could fight in open fields and on the high seas. Today, they can clash on the ground anywhere, on the sea, under the sea, and in the air. Now, the parallel structure of the phrases and the sentences themselves is what highlights the contrast between the 18th century and today. Now, I know you're looking at this and wondering, how is this parallel? I don't understand. So I'm going to break it down for you piece by piece. Let's start with our nouns. Now, we have a noun in the first sentence, forces. This is a plural noun. It is balanced and parallel with the plural pronoun they in the second sentence. They have the same grammatical weight. Not one is more important than the other. That's why they're parallel. Now let's talk about verbs. In the first sentence, we have could fight. This is a present tense verb. In the second sentence, we have can clash, another present tense verb. They have the same grammatical weight, the same importance in what we're looking at. This is what makes them parallel. Let's finish up talking about prepositional phrases. There's a number of prepositional phrases in these two sentences. In the first sentence, we have in open fields, on the high seas. Those have about the same amount of weight. Even though one is one word longer, for the most part, they're very, very balanced. In the second sentence, we have on the ground anywhere, on the sea, under the sea, and in the air. We also want to use parallelism when we're having items in a list or in a formal outline and in headings. Those should always be parallel. You also want to use parallel structure to help you pair two ideas effectively. And the more nearly parallel the structures are, the stronger the connection you're going to make between your ideas. Let me show you some examples. Here's a quote by Toni Morrison, who's a very well-known author. I type in one place, but I write all over the house. Now, this is a very simple sentence. You'll notice it has the coordinating conjunction, but right in the middle of it, and I'm going to show you the parallel structure in this sentence. So let's look at it one piece at a time. We have the pronoun I on both sides of the coordinating conjunction, but. I on one side, I on the other side. This is balanced or parallel. We have a present tense verb on both sides of the coordinating conjunction but. We have type on one side and write on the other side. Those are balanced. That's parallel structure. The prepositional phrases in one place and all over the house, these are really, really close in construction. That is what gives this sentence parallel structure, parallelism. And that's why this sentence is so perfectly written because it's balanced, it's parallel. Now let's talk about paired ideas with conjunctions. Now, when you link ideas with your coordinating conjunctions, your fanboy conjunctions, try to make your ideas parallel in structure. You always want to use the same structure after both parts of a correlative conjunction. Remember, we talked about correlative conjunctions. Either or, both and, neither nor, not but, not only, but also, just as, so, whether or. When you use those, put the same sentence type structure, same clauses, same prepositional phrases, same verb tenses after both parts, and that will help bring parallelism into your writing. Let's look at some examples of what I'm talking about. The top sentence is not parallel. Consult a friend in your class or who is good at math. Now we have the coordinating conjunction or. Now if you look in the beginning part, we have in your class. After the coordinating conjunction, we have who is good at math. Very simple to make this parallel. Look at the revision on the bottom. Consult a friend who is in your class or who is good at math. Now we have who is on both sides of our coordinating conjunction or. That makes this sentence parallel. Let's look at another example. The wise politician promises the possible and should accept the inevitable. This is not parallel. It's easy to make it parallel by changing the verb a little bit. The wise politician promises the possible and accepts the inevitable. So on one side of the coordinating conjunction and, we have promises the possible. On the other side, we have accepts the inevitable. The same verb structure, the same clause structure. That's what makes it parallel. Let's look at another one. I wanted not only to go away to school, but also to New England. Now, this is using the correlative conjunction not only, but also. It's not quite parallel though. Here's how we can fix it to become parallel. I wanted not only to go away to school, but also to live in New England. Let me show you what makes that parallel. Now, if you look on the right-hand side, after the but also, you'll see the word to live. That is an infinitive. Now, on the other side, we have to go. So we put infinitives on both sides of the correlating conjunction, and that's what makes this parallel. Sometimes you need certain words so that your sentence is clear, so that you have clarity. And I know you've heard me talk about clarity many times. So you want to make sure when you're making your parallel elements similar in a grammatical form, put whatever words you need to make it clear. And if you are still wondering what prepositions are, or you can't always remember them, I do have a list of them on my teacher webpage, so go and check that out if you need a refresher. Now, let's look at an example. We'll move to a city in the Southwest or Mexico. Now, this isn't completely clear. Are we going to move to a city in Mexico or just Mexico in general? It's not quite clear what we mean. All it takes is a very little bit of editing, and it's very simple to clarify. We'll move to a city in the Southwest or in Mexico. So all we have to do is add that little preposition in, and the whole meaning becomes clear now. So this is parallelism. When you understand parallel structure and how to use it properly, it can really make your writing much, much stronger, and your meaning is going to become so much clearer.